second half of the NFL season is here, and those young QBs are putting on a show. But who's the best team? This is when we separate the pretenders from the contenders. And you can follow that story every Sunday with the NFL on CBS.
We just checked in with Cam Jordan. He said the Saints are feeling good on their 8 straight victories, and they travel to the Falcons this week in Atlanta. Now, historically, a huge matchup, but most recently, like Cam noted, the Saints have kind of owned the Falcons here as of late, especially in his 10 years in the league. You know, he's been on the right side of that matchup quite a bit. I don't see this matchup being any different. I think the Saints have the advantage here. Although the Falcons, you know, I said this to Cam. I said these kind of teams with nothing to lose and nothing to play for are sometimes dangerous because they go out, they make plays just like they did last week. The Falcons just decimated John Gruden and the Vegas Raiders. They have a special teams touchdown. They forced 5 turnovers. So this is a team that can play and can show up on any given Sunday, but I still think the Saints handle them. I think the Saints have too much experience at rallying behind a backup quarterback. Last year, for example, a lot of the same key guys on defense were there helping Teddy Bridgewater and propelling that defense to motivate their offense, play complementary football, and win some games for Teddy Bridgewater. Now they're doing the same thing this year for Taysom Hill, and he's looked solid. You know, he hasn't been an electric passer. He hasn't lit up the scoreboard, but what he does is keep that offense on schedule, and he provides that running element. So I'm going to take the Saints, and I do believe they'll cover this week, the 3 points. Our next matchup, the 8-3 Browns at the 8-3 Titans. The Titans coming in with a 5.5 point favorite advantage here. The Browns have a great rushing attack in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. It's a solid 1-2 punch. When those guys are firing on all cylinders and they keep Baker to under 25 pass attempts, that's usually when they play their best on offense. Start with the run game, let them get involved with the play action, and they start to roll like we saw last week. But the Titans, coming off a huge victory against the Colts last week, they just blasted them. They came out early. They ran the ball often. They got into their play action game where Ryan Tannehill might be one of the best in the league at play action. That's where he's most comfortable. So then you look at the rush defenses. I know advantage goes to the Browns, but you got to think they're going up against Derrick Henry. I mean, he's the best in the league at doing this. I don't know if they hold up quite as well as they have in the past. These past few games, they've played pretty well on defense. But I'm giving it advantage to Tennessee. However, I don't see them covering. I think it's going to be a tight game, and a field goal is going to decide it, but I think Tennessee wins. Monday Night Football. This is an interesting matchup. The Rams at 7-4 travel to Arizona to play the 6-5 Cardinals, coming off a 2-game skid. The Rams are the road favorites this week, traveling to Arizona by 2.5 points. It's a tight spread because this division is tight in general. Essentially, the Seahawks and the Rams are sort of in the driver's seat. I say sort of because the Rams just lost their second game in the division to the 49ers, a 49ers team, you know, that could potentially end up 10-6, which is crazy. So this division has a lot more fireworks ahead in these coming weeks. The Cardinals on a 2-game skid. I don't see the Cardinals trending in the right direction. I think the wheels kind of fall off as the season ends here. But the Rams, they got some serious games to play. They got to face the Cardinals twice, and they got to play against the Seahawks again. They've already beat them early in the year. I still think they're going in the right direction. After a late game slip up last week in a 2-minute drill, going deep on a 3rd and 5, I didn't love that call. I would have liked to see Goff get an underneath completion to try and keep that drive alive and go down and win the game against the 49ers last week. But I just like the Rams. I think they rebound. I think Goff has a good finish to the season, a strong finish to the season, and they're going to need it to win that division. It's a tough one. And it's your favorite and my favorite Tuesday Night Football. We'll take the Bills 8-3 on the road against the 49ers 5-6. 49ers coming off a huge win last week against a divisional opponent, the Los Angeles Rams. The Bills are favored by 2.5 on the road. I do like the Bills in this contest. I think they win by at least a field goal. I think they're going to cover. But you also have to keep in mind, the 49ers have a lot going on. They get uprooted out of Santa Clara because of their ordinances due to COVID. They travel to Arizona and relocate their entire franchise for a couple weeks. And they're still trying to find a place to practice. They got to get ready to play the Bills, the Washington football team, in another state, but technically get home games. This is interesting, and it just seems like a lot of moving parts for a team with a ton of injuries. I know Deebo Samuel's back. I know Mostert's back. But Mullins is still at quarterback. We'll see how that works out. I just like the way Josh Allen's playing right now. He's been solid. He can run it. He can throw it. And he's not afraid to do either one and do either one well. So I'll take the Bills on the road at the Arizona Niners.